Hello guys, welcome back to Improvement episode number 1 with me, Wardí. I hope you're having a good time. I urge you to please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/sc2_improve, on Facebook, facebook.com/sc2improve. If you like my casting and so on, if you want to see more shows like this as well as all events from SC2Improve, please do consider following my channel on Twitch, because it's much appreciated. If anyone is here and they haven't submitted their replays already that they'd like to see casted or and analysed, then it's not too late. You can throw it in chat. We'll see if we get round to it. So just throw it in chat, I'll save it, and we'll see if we get round to it a bit later on. For now, we're going to be going into our next game. It's going to be another TVP. It's going to be Alaran going on Fluff, going up against Fluff. So we're going to actually open this up right now. Alaran submitted a few replays to us, so I just kind of picked one randomly. So hopefully it's a good one. So I'm just going to check over those off. So yes, it is. So in the top right hand corner we do have our red Terran player, Mr. Fluff. And in the bottom left we do have our blue cross player, Alaran, who did submit this replay, and I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong Alaran, I know you're in the chat, I do believe you're around platinum, maybe high platinum. I do believe, maybe you just got top 8, maybe that was someone else, I don't know. the Reddit, oh my god, what am I trying to say? Replays from Reddit will be coming, I promise. Just there's a lot of replays, so just bear with me. I'm going to be doing a Reddit replay next actually. I think they all involve like Terran though. Like I'm trying to find like some that don't involve Terran, so we don't just see Terran every time. So you know, we'll try and get as many done as possible. We'll vary them up a lot as well. So again, I'm just going to see what these guys want to open up with. So while that happens, do remember you can check out our website www.sc2improve.org as well, where you'll be able to also keep up with all of the events from SC2Improve as they go live and stuff. The SC2Improve weekly every Monday. Winter League casts as well. The round of 16 will be starting up after Christmas, after the New Year. So a lot of stuff to kind of keep track of. So see the gateway coming down for Alaran. He's taking his gas as well, so nothing too crazy. You know, Terran's going to scout this, nothing crazy at all. Alaran, he's scouting as well. He's doing a little bit of harassment on that SUV, which is nice. He's just going to scout around, sees gasless. Pretty safe to assume the guy's not going to take gas now. Going to get blocked in. That kind of sucks, but what can you do? If anything, you can just run around in circles a little bit more. Just run around in circles a little bit more if you would like to. But he's going to get caught by the Marines, so could have just maybe gone to check that gas again. Looks like he will get the gas check again, and he will actually see the gas. If he moves to the left, he will not. So again, if he was a little bit more active with the probe, he would have been able to see that gas going up, which would have been a pretty important scout, as he's actually just sat still on there. And is he going to see the scout as well? He actually is going to see the gas, so he gets the gas scout, which is pretty important and pretty intriguing as well to see that kind of late gas coming up. So Alaran, is he actually going to get out of the probe? Wow, he gets out of the probe. Holy shit. That's great. So Alaran actually getting out of the probe and scouting the gas. So again, just to make sure that would have happened. I mean, if Fluff hadn't messed up, the probe should have been dead. But just to make sure, I mean, there's no kind of need to tackle the depot over here. Could have just been running around to try and make your gas even later for your opponent if he wanted to continue. If he did want to still take gas but didn't want to put it up till you were gone, for example. Zay, or Josh Jackson, the guy who said scrub, is my friend, and he's just joking. He doesn't know I'm streaming, so that's why he's saying scrub. Ha ha ha. We do see a couple of Marines. We're going to poke across the map. Alaran's going to be pretty safe. It looks like, check his unit tab. Looks like he went for sentry first. Just a little bit interesting to get that sentry out first. Usually a stalker to get some map control, and with a stalker he would have been able to kind of get rid of these Marines. The Marines are actually going to come up here now, and Alaran's going to have to be a little bit careful. Second sentry is about to pop, and he might lose the sentry. In fact, second sentry just popped, and Alaran finds himself in a little bit of trouble losing that sentry. So again, this is why we usually see a Zealot Stalker or just a Stalker opening, just simply because the Zealot and the Stalker can deal with any kind of early Marines, and Alaran now will take a little bit of damage just because of that kind of early decision to go for the sentries. So Sentry being kept alive for now as we see Corona Boost coming out on the Warp Gate and the Cybernex course. So the Stalker finally going to come down. Sentry does die, so again Fluff doing a lot of damage here just because Alaran didn't open with the Stalker. As you can see in the resource as well, so it's pretty damn good for the Terran. And he's even getting more and more probes, so 2 probes killed before that Stalker finally cleans up the rest of it. 2 more Marines coming across the map. The Terran did get a little bit caught up in this. He's forgot to make his depot and so on. He's floating a lot of minerals. He got a little bit excited about the prospect of killing things. He has added on his barracks. He has got his gas up, but he should be adding on his engineering bay now. He should be adding on his factory. He should be adding on his 3rd gas. In fact, he hasn't actually expanded, so this is an all-in. So ignore the fact that he should be doing that because he's all-in, but he's got gas for no reason at all. So Fluff, if you're going to go for a free rack kind of attack, all-in thing, it kind of helps to get stim. So a few SCVs come, going to try and help out, but 3 Stalkers are for Alaran. He's going to be able to clean everything up, and you know the SCVs aren't really going to be able to do too much. Alaran's going to be able to clean it up pretty nicely. We'll need a couple more Stalkers as well. He's got up to 4 gateways, so I kind of like the choice to go to 4 gateways, not technically too quickly. He doesn't know his opponent's only on 1 base, but with the pressure he's been going up against, I kind of like the prospect of just getting them gateways, going across the map and maybe trying to do some aggression. Maybe a few too many Stalkers, but at the same time he doesn't have a proxy paladin on the map to continue this. So again, if you want to go for some kind of 4-gate pressure, always try and just make sure you've got some kind of proxy paladins out on the map and so on, because it's pretty useful to help with your pressure, to help that and so on. So Stalker's going to take the tower, as the proxy paladin does now start to come down. Sentry's being warped into host, they're going to march across the map. A few Zealots are going to help a lot here, mainly because Zealots very tanky kind of units, as the Sentry's now coming across the map. A lot of Marines out, about 10 or so, but yeah, I feel like the Stalkers should be enough to kind of take them down. 20 army supply against 17. Gateway units are actually pretty good against Bio units before Stim, Combat Shields, Medivac facts kick in, so. A lot of what was coming in from Alaran. Again, I feel like a few more Zealots would have been nice. Maybe instead of them extra Sentries, you shouldn't need that many force fields. So with this kind of pressure, just a few more Zealots, because they're really the tankiness of your army. They're the units you can afford to lose. They're the units you can afford to trade. While in the back, your Stalkers do a lot of damage to the Marines and the Sentries do the force fields. The proxy farm coming down, so Alaran going to continue this pressure here as the Marines and the Marauders actually do start to poke out now. And Alaran will be able to trade pretty nicely here. Force fields going down, preventing a lot of the retreating units from retreating. So very nice force fields, very nice pickups on Alaran, going pretty far ahead in supply actually. He should be able to just poke up here and continue the aggression. Still no upgrades coming down for the pros, so Alaran here should be able to poke in and continue this aggression. But he might come in here and see no next natural and might just think, well, let's go. And again, I kind of agree with this, but he shouldn't go back home. Like, if you're in this position, you want to kind of just stick around. You just want to say, well, you shouldn't be able to retake this so quickly. You want to kind of contain your opponent for a little bit and then move back after a little while, after your opponent's built up a few units and so on. Walking all the way back to your proxy power and maybe even all the way back home isn't completely what you want to do, so. Nevertheless, Alan's gone up to 5 gates, so it's a pretty all-in attack, but at the same time his opponent was on 1 base for a long time. He's denied his opponent's natural expanding for quite a while. So the tech is now going to start coming in, the double forge, the rover facility, double gases as well. So Alan's going to be able to transition out of this, and he's not going to be too far behind because he's of how his opponent's done. He's done a lot of damage as well, so. Zealots and Sentries come back home, leaving the Stalkers out on the map because they do of course have the most mobility. They'll be able to get out of the way quite quickly. Planetary Fortress coming out on the natural, which is really interesting. And yeah, the rover is quite late. Alaran actually going to poke in here, and he's be careful. He's going to lose just 1 Stalker, but going to be able to get out. Again, the rover was pretty late. It was a pretty all-in-ish kind of attack, but you know, it did the damage, and that's why he's able to transition. If you do want to not do an all-in-ish attack, just go for the 3 gateways, get the rover facility about the 6-minute-ish mark, just after the 2 extra gateways after the expand. So boosting the upgrades, which is great. On the robot bay as well, we're going to get an observer out, get some map control as well. So again, still on this kind of heavy gateway force, which is very weak to the Terran bio stim force, which is out, but the problem is there isn't enough kind of bio on the map to really be damaging. We do have a double drop loaded up though. That's going to try and come in the main, but Alaran with a nice position, going to be able to deflect that, so that's nice. It did fly straight over the proxy pylon, so a nice little scout there for Alaran. couple of Wardens trying to clear the units, taking off the pylon, but the drops did return. They're going to be able to take out that pylon there before moving off. And a mobile coming to join units at the towers. The observer for Alaran just chilling out at his own tower there, going to be able to see if any kind of town tries to take his map control. Hasn't quite scouted his opponent's base yet, tried to rush into the Colossi. Maybe worthwhile just spending a Corona boost or 2 on observers and getting 2 or 3 out. Well, actually, I apologise, you do have 2 out. But again, you don't really need one of your army right now. I think that might be just about what's about to be realised here as he sends it out on the map. So, going to finally go and get some scouting done with the observers. So, take back what I was saying there about not doing that. So, Fluff, he's a pretty bad economic position right now. He's out on another depot. He's got his +1 started, but you know, +2 is going to be started for our pros player in just a moment. In fact, there we go, 2-2 starting on it. Combat shields coming down for the template, also going for tanks, so a little bit of an interesting composition. Alaran keeping these stalkers in the back, which is fine. Just kind of deny them drops for now. And you know, it's fine to kind of keep them there until you go up to free base, and once you get the free base, you can maybe add a cannon or 2 to kind of help out with that, and maybe warp in some more units as the drops come in. So observers just checking around. A little bit of a weird scouting pattern, but going to end up coming in position to scout for drops, which is a nice place to have the observer. The other observer, checking vision, is just sitting over here in the main base, so kind of got the information you need here. Could probably maybe go sit over the 3rd base, see when that comes down, or maybe just patrol around maybe here and over to the 3rd base, just to see any kind of new tech that comes down. You see siege tanks coming up, so kind of see this interesting composition, but it's not too much to worry about siege tanks. I mean, the standard unit composition should be able to deal with that. Charge starting up from the Twilight Council, going to be able to Chrono Boost that. Looks like Alaran's getting ready to take a 3rd base. I like having the pylon up here as well. Just checking for units coming down from the top side. Maybe have a pylon out here as well, see any units just running into the 3rd base, giving you extra time to react. It looks like Fluff might go for a little bit of a doom drop here. The observer does see these units. So again, the observer spots that, and Alaran now notices it as well, and he's going to get in position to pick off their medevacs ASAP. The tanks are going to siege up. I like opening more units here because, of course, you see a heavy amount of units here. But the tanks are actually going to be able to use their positioning kind of and pick off these pylons. But there's not really too much to worry about. I mean, as long as these stalkers are here, the medevacs aren't going to ferry anything too large up into the main base. And Alaran just going to come up with his army, still holding a substantial supply. He's not taking the 3rd base while under this pressure, which is kind of fine. Maybe feels a little bit scared, awkward. Sorga's going to come in now and maybe try and pick off 1 medevac. Not quite able to, but you know, it's a little bit risky for the town player to do what he's trying to do here. Now he's actually going to load up everything. There's still a lot of stalkers here for Alaran. The observer sees the army being picked up as well, which is a perfect time for Alaran to go in. So Alaran using this observer very intelligently, and will now be able to come in here, going to be able to take out the units over to this side. The stalkers aren't going to fare too well against stim barriers, but again, maybe such a left 1 or 2 course side up. This is kind of the standard thing in PvT, is splitting your army correctly. And here, in the end, it's not really going to matter, and now I'm just going to wait around. His warpins are going to be able to clean up anything else. And he's killed enough of the army that these few units here aren't really going to matter. Some extra zealots coming in now, and I mean, Alaran really could just be counter-attacking with this force instead of waiting for it to come back out, so a little bit interesting, but the drop is going to come out now, and Alaran going to turn around to try and catch it here. Is he going to be able to? Yes, he is, and them 2 medevacs will now fall, so pretty much all the army left out on the map for Fluff is dead. He's back at home, he's got 3 tanks, he's got a heavy marauder force, he started to get Vikings out, but he didn't really go for a standard kind of build, so it's no real surprise that he doesn't have a 2nd starport up, not got a 3rd base, not got extra racks, which we'd expect in kind of TVP at this point in the game. So Alaran's just going to add a cannon or 2 in, a couple of gateways at his 3rd base. You know, the gateway is going to force the units to stream in here, so even if they get killed off, it's quite a nice thing to have to force the units to stream in, so I do like that decision. As you do see, Alaran probably going to come in just for the kill move here. The charge out's going to river everything. There's just not enough Vikings in the air to clean up the Colossi. The planetary fortress isn't going to last too long either, and Fluff will tap out of the game. GG's called. So Alaran, what could he do to better? Well, right from the start, really, Alaran maybe could have that opening. Basically, he took a lot of damage at the start, where he could have not, basically. 2 Marines should never do damage, because you should have a Marine, you should have a Stalker at least out, so always try and open with a Stalker. Don't be, go for a Zealot and Stalker as well, that's always great, pressure your opponent a little bit at the same time. So that was a big point at the start of the game. The follow-up pressure was a pretty all-in-ish attack. It did enough damage, thankfully, to be worthwhile. If you didn't want to go in for as much of an all-in-ish attack, just get the Robo facility up after the free gateways, and then just tech as Alaran did after his 5-gate attack. So pretty much just do what he did, just a little bit more quickly. So his drop defense is pretty good, and he dealt with this aggression over to this side relatively well, I'd like to say. And honestly, I think the only other real thing to mention was just splitting the army. He sent a lot of the army over here. Maybe should have kept a few more beefy units up here, like a Colossi, a few more Zealots, just to deal with the inevitable drop into the main base. So apart from that, Alaran, pretty well played game. Got the 3rd base running up in the end as well, and just teched quite nicely. Again, once the 3rd base was up and running, would have expected him to take these gases, and start tackling into Templar. With them extra gases, you're going to be able to supplement the +3 upgrades with kind of the Templar tech and so on. So it's another replay down. We're going to take once again a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be right back with another replay. Going to pick one from Reddit this time, so guys, stay with us and we'll be back just a few moments. I'm Wardí, this is Improvement episode number 1,